Hi, I'm RuPaul, and you are in studio with The Hollywood Reporter.
Well, RuPaul, fancy meeting you here.
On a soundstage where I've spent most of my life. Me and Judy Garland.
Are you working on season 12 right now?
We're working on some season. You tell me. We do a bunch of seasons at once so that the other people can go and have their lives with their families and children.
Yes.
But I usually go on to another soundstage and start working on something else.
Yes, you're very busy these days.
No, I like it. That's the dream. You come to Hollywood, you get off at the Greyhound bus station, and you fingers crossed. Hopefully, I'll be working every single day, and that's the dream.
Yeah, and the proof is in the pudding. You have 14 Emmy nominations this year.
You have pudding? I want pudding.
I don't mean to mention food while filming.
Yes, no, because I can't eat. I have to eat. I have to fit into costume.
Yeah.
So pudding sounds really good right now.
You do TikTok lunches.
Yes. 14 Emmy nominations, which is fantastic. I love it. I want to campaign to make the Emmy Award a cash prize. Because that would be so good.
Yes.
Say even, say $100,000 per Emmy Award. Wouldn't that be fabulous?
I think.
I don't know anything about math, but if I won 14, that would mean a lot of moolah.
Yes. I mean, do you think that the success of Drag Race with the Emmy nominations, is it because you and Fenton and Randy, your executive producers, you always saw unscripted television as an art form? Is that true?
Well, people's lives, yes, it is true. And people's lives are always more interesting than something that is made up, that's scripted. They always say that truth is stranger than fiction. And I think that is more evident on our show than any other place. Because at the heart of our show, it's about the tenacity of the human spirit and of the lives that these kids who have made it all the way here to Hollywood, Sylmar, California, how they got here and what it took for them to get here and the sacrifices they've made and the adjustments and compromises with themselves that they've made to get here. That's always more interesting than, sorry, but a Heather Locklear's Lifetime TV movie.
One of my favorite things I'd like to discuss is lip syncing. The lip sync for your life has gone through such an evolution, from throwing off the wig to death drops to reveal on reveal on reveal on reveal on reveal. So is there anything that you haven't seen yet that you'd like to see?
Well, you're right. The lip sync is always such a telling point of this whole experience because the girls are literally lip syncing for their lives in this competition. And it could be the very last thing that people around the world see of their experience in doing the show. I've seen a lot, not just on this television program, but in lip syncs since I started working in show business. On this show, we've seen tears, we've seen a wig underneath a wig. What I'd like to see someone do is take out a set of teeth to reveal another set of teeth.
Amazing.
That would be great, like alien drag.
Yes.
Where they're just the teeth just keep on coming.
Evie, oddly, you missed your opportunity. Does Evie oddly remind you of a young Ru?
Absolutely.
Pyramid Club Ru?
Oh, absolutely. Evie oddly could have fit right into all the kids that I came up with in clubs back then. Absolutely. And even more than the way she looks, her philosophy, because she's super smart and super conscious of what is going on. And she is a stickler for getting down to the truth of things. On top of that, if someone corrects her, she's able to take that and go, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. She's a very, very smart kid, and think she's the bee's knees.
Yeah. Do you ever give advice to the queens about how they use their platform afterwards, or do you like to kind of let them go on their own?
The only advice I give them when we send them off from here is to, number one, pay your taxes. That's number one. And the second piece of advice is always, there are a lot of people in the cheap seats who are going to have comments about what you do and what you say. But until, and this is a Brene Brown quote, until those people are down in the arena, willing to fight for their lives and fighting the toughest fight of a lifetime, do they get an opportunity to comment on what you're doing? So don't listen to the people in the cheap seats. Don't allow your ego to co-opt those messages, because it will derail everything that you set out to do. And listen, I started out before the internet and all those 2% of people who are making the comments that most of us hear. I started out, before there was electricity. So I had to learn how to tune all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Mama said, unless they paying your bills, pay them bitches, no mind. And that is a direct quote, and I took that to heart. Absolutely.
Well, have you been surprised at what the queens have been able to accomplish after the show?
I have been. Some of them are better at it than others. Some fade away, and that's show business. But some have been able to parlay it into a really not only lucrative business, but have championed certain causes that are important.
Yes.
And they represent so many people out there. Our show is on VH1 in America, but around the world it streams on different platforms. And so people in the most remote places you can imagine or can imagine are watching this thing, and they're getting what they need to get up out of bed every morning and say, you know what, I can do this. And that alone is so valuable.
This year, Pride has never been more commercial, and Drag Race contestants are everywhere for all the Pride festivities. How does it feel for Pride to be such a success?
I love seeing the girls out there showing their pride and actually exemplifying what it really means to be prideful and to be proud of what you've done, because gay pride has always been about young people. It's for young people in a culture that shames people for being unique and true to their heart. Pride shows young people that you can live a successful life, you can find your tribe, and there's a place for you. And that's huge. That's a huge message, because there are a lot of people out there who really don't get that. In 2020, people are still thinking in a primitive way. And that's really the saddest part of where we are today, is that we as humans are still so primitive and so fearful and so backward. I open the paper every day, the internet, and I read what's going on, and I really get depressed. I get so depressed because we haven't, as humans on this planet, evolved in a way that I had hoped we would at this point in our history. So I feel that our show and the girls, when they go out and do Pride events or just go and do their nightclub acts, are doing their part in showing that there's a way to advance our society and to champion young people out there who want to follow their heart but may not have an example of that in their small town or wherever they live. I also just want to add too that, the concept of pride is, in theory, is to balance the shame of being someone who dances to the beat of a different drummer. So in theory, you put pride there and it sort of offsets the shame. But in reality, the truth of it is that the opposite of shame isn't pride. The opposite of shame is love. And when you can love yourself, when you can show the child, your inner child, that you love yourself and that you're willing to take it out and parent it in a way that you weren't parented, that's what love is. That's how you can pay it forward, by being good to yourself and to your inner child. That's what it means to, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? You got to love that inner child. I know it sounds so cliche, but the truth is, it's been said so many times in our culture, but clearly not enough.
How do you feel when you go through a finale for the show, the big finale? They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
When I think of the finales of our show, I think of the audience out there and how they get to experience the show physically. I mean, they get to see not only the contestants on stage, but in the audience, they get to meet all of the past winners and the other contestants. And it's one of those things that's, really sort of a playback to the old school, which is, most people experience the show through their phones or their televisions. To see it and to experience it in person is so magical. That's why DragCon is so important, because we created DragCon so that the fans can get together and meet each other. So the finale is, in a small part, a way for everybody to get together and celebrate the show and celebrate what we've done. It's really a big, big party.
RuPaul, thank you so much. We will see you at the Emmys. And we'll see season 12, AJ and the Queen, so many things to look forward to in the next few months.
I'm very fortunate and so fortunate to see you again. You're always so wonderful to talk to.
Thank you, Ru.
Thanks.